Team Pennsylvania, they got a tall order on their hands, but should be some good action tonight. And man, if first duel shows you anything, they're going to be right in this.
All right, and right away in the first bout of the evening, we have a Pennsylvania All-Star, Montana DeLawder from Gettysburg High School. She is taking on Adrienna Turner from Davis High School in Davis, California.
These are the top 2 ranked women in the country at 127 pounds, and already you see Turner in on a shot.
Yeah, Turner able to come in on the shot. DeLawder does a nice job of closing the door on the head, giving some really heavy hips right now, keeping her head stuck under, and she transitions to her own leg attack, has a cradle locked up, able to get the 2-point takedown.
Turner did a nice job fighting hands underneath to avoid giving up the turn, but DeLawder in good position, now isolating that arm. She leads 2-0.
And this match will be wrestled with folk style rules. I know sometimes women's matches freestyle rules, but this evening they're going to wrestle folk style. DeLawder again going back to that near side cradle. DeLawder ranked number 2 in the country. Has a loss on the year earlier to Turner, trying to avenge that here today at the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic.
She's doing a good job so far. Well in control and looking very physical, very tough in the top position. She's got a tight waist deep now, does DeLawder.
And Turner, head on the mat, a lot of pressure, 20 seconds to go in the period. She's got to find a way to get out. She's clutching onto the arm right now.
Short time left, first period, about 10 seconds to go. DeLawder really trying to make this a period that was a complete period for her, and it looks like that's what she's going to do. Takedown early, rides it out the whole rest of the way, threatening turns along the way.
Yeah, Turner won a close one against these two, but as we mentioned, DeLawder trying to come back and pick up a win. DeLawder, a 4-time girls high school state champion in the state of Pennsylvania. Currently, the girls wrestling in the state of Pennsylvania is not an official sanctioned sport. And girls like Montana DeLawder have been working really hard to get that changed. She's been doing a lot of work, a great advocate for women's wrestling in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we talked about it in the duel earlier today, but first time I met Montana DeLawder was last year. She was manning the booth to get women's wrestling sanctioned in the state of Pennsylvania. So she's not just battling on the mat, but fighting that advocacy fight to get women's wrestling sanctioned in PA, and she's doing a good job at both.
And we saw our first stall call against Turner on the bottom, not doing enough to try to come out. And this is where you wonder how much folk style has Turner actually wrestled. Women's wrestling at the college level, they wrestle freestyle. Most women train that way, so bottom isn't a position that they're used to working from. She's typically used to allowed putting her head on the mat and getting that starfish position, hands and feet out wide, and waiting for the restart. But in folk style, you're going to get it for stalling. I would be surprised to see another call coming from her soon.
And on the flip side, DeLawder looks very comfortable on top. She's got Turner in trouble, looking for a fall.
And you see that PA wrestling from Lauder. DeLawder with the pin. And showing how Pennsylvania wrestlers can dominate on the top position. Great win by Montana DeLawder.
Team Whippeal start.
Yeah, our first match of the night. We're going out of order this evening as far as weight classes go, so we'll keep you up to date on that. But we have our 182-pound matchup. And so at 182 pounds, we're going to have Peyton Kraft from Blairstown, New Jersey, and he is taking on Cael Crebs from Montoursville.
Kraft, the higher ranked of the two wrestlers, but man, Cael Crebs, incredible offensive output at PIAAs. He is a guy who's super, super fun to watch. He doesn't stop attacking. I'm excited for this match.
Yeah, Krebs, a Pennsylvania state champion this year, up at 189 pounds, wrestling 182 tonight. State of Pennsylvania has 13 weight classes. When you get to the upper weights, they go a little bit different. So these Pennsylvania guys up at the upper weights have slid into some different weight classes. These guys do need to make weight. They made weight the day before, so yesterday they had their weigh-ins. They do get a 5-pound allowance.
Which seems only fair for postseason wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
90 seconds to go, no score. Short offense work here for Krebs, and Peyton Kraft trying to slow down that Worker Krebs does so. Back to our feet. Minute 21 to go in the first.
Kraft, a career record of 118 and 16. Krebs, 137 and 18. Some impressive career marks, as we'll see from all the wrestlers tonight.
So
you don't get picked for this event if you have a 500 record.
You do not. 100% not going to get picked. And this is a potential future EIWA matchup. Peyton Kraft headed to Cornell. Cael Krebs going to Navy. So these guys could see each other down the line for years to come. And so far, no points to separate them.
Kraft had mentioned a little bit in his press conference just the struggles that he had to go through this year with going to Blair and not having their normal season this year.
Yeah, and Peyton Kraft, a guy that kind of put off college for a year, decided to stick around for one more year. And I mean, you know, the Ivy League didn't have a season this year, so probably was, in the end, a net positive decision. He'll head to Cornell next year. He may be doing a year at Finger Lakes. We'll see, but
yeah, and these guys, he's just one of those guys. I mean, he mentioned, acted like he's like, yeah, did the best I could and found partners. He seemed to have a good, solid year of training, getting himself ready to join the Big Red next year and coach Cole as they look to get back to the NCAA tournament, as you mentioned. Nice shot by Kraft. Just shows that explosive power and has Krebs in a little bit of trouble. Krebs does a nice job of bellying down as the period ends with Kraft with a big score at the end of the period.
Incredible reattack with just a few seconds to go, and a 2-point lead going into the second is big for Kraft. Mentioned Cael Krebs going to Navy. He's got the naval haircut right now, but at PIAA's,
disappointing, actually.
It is a little disappointing. At PIAA's, this man had the most luxurious mullet of the entire tournament. He's up to his feet. Kraft follows.
I did find out the curls were not natural, though. I just want to put that out there.
He did mention something about a perm.
Yes.
I was not going to put him on blast, but he's out. It's 2-1.
So as you mentioned, Kraft wrestles for Blair Academy. He's originally from Ohio.
Solid underhook here for Krebs.
Yeah, Kraft's head buried underneath. Might get a stalemate here eventually. It's like neither wrestler's trying to improve as Krebs tries to throw it by. Mentioned a lot of great wrestlers tonight representing, well, future schools, 28 different colleges represented here. And not only in this dual meet, but also in our prior dual meet where we watched, as we mentioned, Whipple All-Stars take it to Maryland. But yeah, 28 different colleges represented, spreading out the love a little bit around the country.
Absolutely. Oh, nice attack. Man, Kraft is very good at avoiding the score and then scoring off of Krebs' attacks. I thought he might capitalize on that position on the edge. They're out of bounds. Both these guys, you mentioned colleges, Krebs Navy bound and Kraft going to Cornell. Both of those schools have multiple guys in action at this event.
Another matchup here this evening.
20 seconds to go, second period.
And just another great event put on this weekend by the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic Committee. They do a great job of getting these athletes out here, giving them some awesome gear, just an awesome experience. Press conference earlier today. Got to listen to these guys talk, and a great event that's good for the community too. The proceeds from this event and the fundraising goes to help the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Pittsburgh area, helping those underfunded kids get the opportunity to wrestle. So just a great event to watch, but also giving back to the community.
Absolutely, and these guys are well aware of the mission. They spoke about it last night in the banquet, and what better way to contribute to the community than just battle another tough guy, something you love to do anyway, and Kraft up and out.
Yeah, Kraft gets the escape, goes up 3-1. We'll see if Krebs can get some offense going.
30 seconds remaining in this matchup.
With a guy like Kraft and that explosive quickness that he has, you got to be careful with like half shots. Get yourself in trouble, leaving yourself susceptible to Kraft's reshot. Kraft driving in with double underhooks. Nice little duck under. Felt the pushback from Crebs, was able to duck under with those double underhooks and pick up the takedown, increases his lead to 5-1.
Been a really impressive match from Kraft. Krebs has felt like he is inch by inch winning the hand fight throughout, but then when it comes to opportunities to score in those real big openings, it's been Peyton Kraft.
Yeah, just good awareness of pressure in that last situation. You know, pushes in, waits till Krebs pushes back, and it looks like an easy duck, but he did the work first to make it an easy duck as he's trying to crunch the head and just run him up over the shoulders. Krebs tries to work his head up and come up to his feet. He's got 30 seconds to work and trails by 3.
You've seen Krebs look for a body lock a couple times. He's down 3 with 25 to go. You wonder if he'll think about going big here.
So it looks like the 10th ranked wrestler in the country, Peyton Kraft, is on his way to getting it done against number 17, Cael Krebs. So we're in a scramble and we go out of bounds with 6 seconds to go in the period.
Not much time left to work. A feet to back could do it. That's a tall order though.
Kraft with a nice little snap down, go behind. He'll put 2 on the board to make it 7-2. So it's Peyton Kraft with the regular decision.
And so far, after 2 matches.
And next up, 220 pounds, Emmanuel Skillings from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. He is up against Jake Lucas from Cumberland Valley. These guys are going out at 220, and it's Jake Lucas on the shot early. Definitely the underdog in this matchup, Jake Lewis with the opening takedown.
Skillings out and finally turns him face. And Emmanuel Skillings had a little bit of a rough match in the state finals in Oklahoma. Was heavily favored, lost that one, and kind of trying to get the mojo back a little bit here. But it's Lucas right now looking very, very strong early on.
Lucas definitely had some difficulty getting to his offense in the Pennsylvania State tournament, but understand the competition level at that event. But a lot of low-scoring matches, so this is big for him to get out early with that opening takedown.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah, a lot of his matches he won in a chess match, in a hand fight battle that came down to one position, and for him to open up early, that's very promising.
Yeah, Skillings is the guy that we're used to watching with that explosiveness coming after it. He mentioned in the interviews earlier this afternoon that he's really trying to open it up and put on a show this evening.
Another little attack there from Lucas. Re-attack from Skillings, didn't quite commit to it. And yeah, I mean, I got the privilege of calling a match at Broken Arrow this year, and a bunch of these Broken Arrow kids are out on the mat doing standing backflips, and Skillings is one of them. He's a 220-pounder.
I'll be honest, after I saw Gable Stevenson hit that backflip at the NCAAs, it's raised the bar a little bit. So I'm impressed with his backflip.
That's true. Standing backflip, not quite the soaring, elevating.
Yeah, I saw a still shot of Stevenson, and it was, oh man, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Anyways, we got 2 incredible guys right now wrestling, and it's Jake Lewis, again, trying to put the attacks on Jake Lewis heading to Navy also. We just saw a future teammate in our last matchup in Cael Krebs. Again, both these guys heading to Navy. Coach Collette doing a great job down at Navy, getting that pipeline coming down from Pennsylvania.
Absolutely, and got 5 left to go. You see Lucas holding his shoulder a little bit. You hate to see that, but I have a feeling he's not bowing out of this match early.
Yeah, he saw a little grimace on his face. Hopefully he can shake that off. Chooses bottom to start the second.
Mentioned Lucas headed to Navy. Emmanuel Skillings, one of the top seniors, still uncommitted. Be really curious to see where he ends up. And Lucas up and out.
Yeah, Skillings, a 2-time state champ in Oklahoma, record of 116-14, but it's Lucas in on another attack. Tried to hook the elbow and roll, probably an ill-advised move, especially when we saw the end of it, but he's still rolling through it. And good wrestling by Lucas, I thought he put himself in a bad position and almost lost it, but able to stay with it and pick up the takedown. Lucas has got to be careful not to lock his hands in this position. Now Skillings trying to cut away. It's going to be Lucas. Looks like he's going to be able to keep control. And as I say that, comes up to an inside trip. Don't oftentimes see an inside trip reversal, but that's exactly what just happened.
Inside trip from bottom. That's when they'll least expect it.
Yeah.
But he gets the two. It's 5-3. Emmanuel Skillings drawing close, and he's looking for a cradle, but Lucas not going to give that up. He's out at 6-3.
To say this is one of the most entertaining matches I've seen Lucas wrestle. I've seen him wrestle a lot from Cumberland Valley a few times, and again, most of the scores have been low, and this is a lot of excitement here this evening.
That second takedown for Lucas, it looked like Skillings got maybe just a little undisciplined in his stance, was standing up a little too straight. Lucas capitalized, and Skillings has looked throughout the match like he is looking for one big move, and Lucas takes a shot.
And Skillings is really casual in those positions. Lucas had the underhook, controls the underhook really well, shot that head outside, and Skillings just looks really comfortable there, maybe too comfortable.
That's the thing, right? He seems like he's willing to give up small positions to hopefully capitalize on a big one later, and he's down now 6-3. He might not have the time or the ability to do that in this match.
Yeah, and Lucas is powerful too. I mean, it's hard to take a big, strong guy like that and put him on his back. But that's what Skillings has been trying to do so far, trying to control the overhook and just kind of giving up on the underhook to Lucas in a few different positions. So that'll end the period. Looking forward to a good third period here. Skillings chooses injury time. I didn't know that was an option, but
there's always a fourth choice. There's always a fourth choice, and it's injury time.
He says, "Don't box me in with the top, bottom, or neutral." I'm going injury.
You heard the corner saying they're probably going to put him down once this injury time is over, and you get the feeling both these guys maybe not too upset about a little extra time to catch their breath.
Yeah. Especially with that Lucas with his shoulder, I'm sure he feels good to get that little break on there. Talking to Coach Heckert from Cumberland Valley in the corner, from what I could tell, hard to read lips with masks on, but it looked like he was motioning, trying to encourage Lucas to be able to come high with the leg attacks. He was saying when you wrap on that leg, take it up off the mat. He doesn't want to be rolling around on the mat with Skillings.
Absolutely, and I have a feeling these guys have recovered from this injury. I think Skillings is he's made a solid recovery here.
Yeah, I don't think they had the actual injury time running. It must be a casual clock here this evening.
Skillings is going to go bottom, as we suspected, trailing by 3 in the third.
And big breakdown right off the whistle. Lucas gets him down to his belly, unable to keep him there as Skillings builds his base.
There's the escape. Within a takedown now is Skillings. We've seen Skillings look for big moves, but we really haven't seen a shot. We haven't seen a leg attack.
Yeah, nothing traditional so far from Skillings. And you wonder what Lucas is going to do here with 1:13 left. Is he going to put himself on the attack or be more defensive? He does know how to defend and shut things down pretty well. As he shuts down, Skillings shot, able to come around. Near side cradle locked up. He takes him over the backs. He's got a minute to get the fall. I think he can do it. He's in great shape. The referee went up with his hand. He wanted to slap the mat, but didn't pull the trigger.
He looks pretty flat.
He's got the leg hooked. I don't know what's keeping him up right now. Referee's got a better view than we do, but he looked like he was flat. And we mentioned Pennsylvania, the underdogs tonight, but this would be a huge win for them over Team USA.
Absolutely. Emmanuel Skillings was one of the bigger favorites in this duel, but Jake Lucas all over him. And Jake Lucas attacking more than we saw him attack the entire state tournament.
Absolutely. Lucas, one of those guys, I mean, a top quality wrestler, but not really on the national scene. But had himself a great month of March. Actually, it's April now, but continues it on to April. But great win for Jake Lucas. Caps off a scholastic career with a great 11-4 win. Jake Lucas from Cumberland Valley picks up the W.
Coach Colat's got to be pretty fired up about getting him in the room.
Now moving on to our matchup at 120 pounds.
Right, our third bout of the night. This is going to be a big one. Number 1 versus number 4. We have Richie Figueroa from Selma, California. He is taking on Brett Ungar from Notre Dame Green Pond.
And who had a better month of March than Brett Ungar? This guy went into PIAA's, ranked 9th in the country. He took out Gary Steen, who was a spot ahead of him in the semis, and then beat Mason Gibson in the finals. That's how he ended up at number 4 in the country.
Yeah, Ungar with the unlikely pin in the state finals against Mason Gibson. Caught him on a tilt. Gibson was trying to fight hands and wasn't careful with his back and ended up getting pinned into position. Gibson dropped to the mat in disbelief as Ungar just so joyful around the mat. Couldn't almost believe that he won by fall. And jumping into his coaches, it was a great moment in Hershey, great moment for Ungar.
It really was, and he's got his work cut out for him here with Richie Figueroa. Figueroa has so many ways to score. He's very good in all 3 positions, and as is Ungar, though. This is an exciting matchup. Figueroa headed to Arizona State, a program that's coming off an NCAA trophy finish at the NCAA championships.
And I saw that was the first time since 1995. So Arizona State getting back on the national scene, and Figueroa definitely going to help bolster their lineup next year for the Sun Devils.
He definitely will. And score is now through 30, or with 30 seconds left to go in the first period. Brett Ungar headed to Cornell, another rock-solid program that would have been in that trophy race for sure if the Ivy League hadn't canceled wrestling, and he's got a finger in the eye. He's going to sort that out.
Ungar, a 2-time state champ, once in Pennsylvania, once in New Jersey. Came over from New Jersey as a junior, I believe. He was a sophomore state champ in New Jersey. Came to Notre Dame Green Pond. 3rd place finisher last year, was able to get the state title this year, as you mentioned. Just a great tournament for him.
And I believe
wrestlers kind of tied up as we end the first period.
I believe last night I heard that he's the only wrestler to have won a state title in both New Jersey and Pennsylvania. So quite the accomplishment from Ungar.
And Ungar, dangerous on top, as we mentioned, was able to get that tilt in the state finals. But Figueroa not giving him any time to get his hooks in on top as Figueroa gets the reversal.
Caught that leg coming in and made the most of it, got on top. And Figueroa is good here. Talk about the mat wrestling of Pennsylvania. Richie Figueroa, a Cali boy who knows his way around the top.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's not all that common. I don't want to knock on California, but that is one of the knocks and one of the reasons why a lot of times they have such success at the high school level, they transition to the college level and they really struggle because out in California, most of those guys they like to take them down, let them up, and again, that's a very general, broad statement. You get the hammers on top, but, on the national scene, usually you see these guys really good from their feet, not so good from top, but that's a different story for Richie Figueroa.
100%, and that's what makes him one of the top recruits in the country is that he can grind out a win on top. He can play the take him down, let him up game if he wants to, but he's got skills in every position, and that separates him.
And he just seems like a kid that's all business, not a man of many words. You put a microphone in front of him, that's not where, he wants to excel. He'll talk to you. He's a nice kid, but, he's all business. You could tell he was focused today, ready to come out here and pick up a win over the number 4 guy in the country.
Absolutely. Both these guys were. That's what I love about this matchup. Both Ungar and Figueroa seemed pretty convinced they were going to win this match.
Figueroa with that reversal to start the period. He's had a nice ride out, but now it's Ungar who's coming around. Ungar with the double, trying to run his feet. He's got both legs, but nothing yet. He's got to hook it.
Figueroa is still locked in the crotch. Team Pennsylvania wants the 2.
Yeah, I think that's a good hold by the referee. Figueroa is still locked in the crotch. I don't know how he's there. Now I think that's 2. There's no crotch lock anymore. He's got both feet.
He still is locked.
Oh, he is. Jeez. I don't know. I like it, but tough call for the official. Ungar not able to get his inside arm through yet. There's his inside arm. He just needs to be able to hip in. He gets a reversal there. I don't think that was the right time for it.
And time expired.
Over. So very tight call.
We'll see what the officials decide to do.
Figueroa is telling me he had the foot. I didn't like that reversal, to be honest with you. I thought it was there a little bit earlier. I didn't like when he called it.
And the coaches from Team USA want to make sure they understand the situation here. And they're having a little discussion here, similar to the discussion that you and I just had. I mean, it was close, but Figueroa went from the crotch lock to the foot, and
I just saw the coach ask, do we get a challenge?
that'd be a good question to clarify before the duel starts, and I do not believe they do.
No, there are no challenge bricks here. Figueroa, we'll see how he comes back from that. I mean, that's a mental thing. He's not happy that he gave up that reversal.
He fought hard to stay on the top position and ended up, Ungar got the position. So Ungar goes bottom. Figueroa says, let's work this out on our feet. Figueroa has, there it is, one of the fastest slide bys.
But Ungar able to square up with him, showing a little quickness of his own.
And you see Ungar kind of wrestling from a knee. He knows he cannot push into Richie Figueroa. He knows the danger of that slide by, and that's why you see him on that knee sitting back on his haunches.
Representing Notre Dame Green Paw, is undefeated this season on his way to a state championship.
Figueroa tries the duck. Ungar ready for it. Ungar down on his knees, can definitely be defensive here, which he is. No stall calls yet on Ungar.
Figueroa controlling center, but hasn't had a go-to leg attack so far. He gets a stall call with 1:05 to go.
Figueroa wasting time on the edge. I think just get out of bounds and get a restart. Time's ticking down. You got 45 seconds. We go out of bounds.
Ungar's had a really smart game plan, but if he continues to go to a knee and sit to his haunches, he may give up another stall call here.
And there he is, dropping to a knee, fires off a shot, has both legs. We'll see if Figueroa, he's shown he can fight out of this position before. And there's a 2-point takedown. Easier call for the official in this case, as Brett Ungar gets the takedown with under 30 seconds to go.
An absolutely incredible month-long stretch for Brett Ungar.
And I guarantee you, this means something to Team PA right now and these coaches as they're telling Ungar stay low. They want this win, and it looks like they're going to get it with 10 seconds to go.
Brett Ungar with 3 top 10 wins, including a win over the #1 man in the country, Richie Figueroa, in the last month, and he's pumped up.
Yeah, and you got to think back to that reversal that Figueroa gave up. I don't think he was able to get over that mentally. Still not happy about it, talking to the official. Ends up dropping the match. It's Brett Ungar, Team PA, with the big win over the #1 ranked wrestler in the country.
Yeah, it was great wrestling, and I mean a smart game plan and then excellent execution. So loved that match, and we're on to the next one.
Yeah, next up, 195 pounds, Jaxon Smith from Cartersville, Georgia. Ranked #8 in the country. He's taking on Justin Hart, a late addition. Justin Hart from Hampton picked up the spot late, and he's here wrestling tonight and is very happy to be here.
Absolutely. Jaxon Smith, just 1 loss in his high school career. An absolute beast out of Georgia, and we're off the mat. Smith headed to Maryland. Justin Hart will take his talents to VMI.
And just a programming note really quickly, Keontae Hamilton, who was slated to wrestle in the heavyweight bout against Nate Schoen from Selinsgrove, he is medically forfeiting out. He wrestled earlier in the undercard matchup with WPIAL versus Maryland. He wrestled Isaiah Vance. He was injured in that match, decided he needed to pull out and medically forfeit later on. So we're not going to see that matchup, but we're still going to see a great matchup for Schoen. Nate Schoen is going to take on Isaiah Vance, PA versus PA, just as an exhibition. So Pennsylvania will get the 6 points for the forfeit win for Schoen, and then he's going to wrestle Vance just for an exhibition to keep us happy.
And that's, I mean, it's really, you know, it's disappointing. Hopefully Keontae Hamilton's okay and not too injured, but man, great match in place. And Isaiah Vance got the better of that match in the Super Regional Finals.
Yeah, and Isaiah Vance, I mean, hats off to him taking this match on a very short notice, like 30-minute notice. You know, he thought he was done for the night after a huge win for him earlier over Keontae Hamilton. But he said, yeah, I'll strap it back up and go against Schoen. So hats off to him. So 15 seconds in the first period, and there's our takedown.
Slick ankle pick there from Jaxon Smith. I mentioned he's headed to Maryland, and Coach Clemson trying to turn things around for the Terrapins, and some really high-level recruits signed. Jaxon Smith, one of them.
Yeah, the cupboard was empty at Maryland for Coach Clemson, and he's been doing a good job trying to restock. Georgia, not a bad place to go, as they've been putting out some national talent in the past few years, really building up down there in the South.
Hart's got a little blood on the shoulder. Trying to clean that up.
A Whitfield champion for the Hampton Talbots. He was a 4-time state qualifier and also the 2021 PIAA state.
Might hear the in-house microphone talking about Justin Hart, a 4-time qualifier. He actually lost in the blood round of the state championships 3 years in a row. So freshman year, finished round of 12, same sophomore, same thing junior year, one match away from a medal. Comes through this year, able to get to the finals where he was able to take second place this year in the state of Pennsylvania.
Hart up and out, makes it 2-1, and team score right now 12-3, Team Pennsylvania in the lead. Team USA would really use a strong performance from Jaxon Smith. Shot there from Hart, but Smith fed him some hips.
Justin Hart headed to VMI next year, Virginia Military Institute, to continue his wrestling career. Hart able to get the underhook. Smith able to work out, gets both legs.
Ooh, edge of the mat takedown. Way to stick with it on the edge.
I forgot we were going college out of bounds for a second. So yeah, we are doing college out of bounds, high school rules, but college out of bounds this evening.
I like the college out of bounds adjustment for this event. It makes a lot of sense.
Especially with a smaller, I mean, it's not a small mat, but when you get these smaller mats, it's nice to definitely have those college out of bounds to maximize your wrestling area. Smith goes claw originally. Hart able to come up and get the escape. Picks up another point. Try to work to get his offense going as he finds himself trailing by 2. 40 seconds to go in the period.
An unbelievable high school career, 150 victories and just 1 loss.
Hart wrestled the year for PA down at 189. Again, just slight adjustments with the weight classes. Slick little duck under. Good job by Hart to wrestle through the position. Spins out, able to get out of that hold and not give up the takedown.
Man, that was very, very slick from a 195-pounder.
We've seen a couple good ducks tonight that weren't able to earn points, but guys showing good motion. And Smith wants to start bottom with a 2-point lead in the third period. Quick off the whistle, Smith up, Hart with the foot sweep attempt. Smith able to get away and get his point and goes up 5-2.
Jaxon Smith, part of a growing contingent of Georgia wrestlers who are making that state one of the premier wrestling states in the country. And he's got a 2-on-1. Wow.
Oh, nice work on the edge by Smith. I think Hart relaxed a little bit. Maybe he forgot we were doing college out of bounds, but hit his butt and just kind of sat there for a second. Didn't try to kick away. Gave Smith time to be able to collect both legs.
I don't know if it's been 100% on purpose, but Jaxon Smith has attacked on the edge in that corner, which gives him basically max room to work. And he's gotten the takedown twice there. Really impressive. Up and out is Hart, makes it 7-3 for Jaxon Smith. Minute to go in this match. Jaxon Smith just continuing to stalk Hart. Hart fires off a shot. Nice re-attack though for Smith.
Nice double plant finish. Picks up the takedown with 47 seconds to go.
I know Team USA is a team that just became a team in the last 24 hours, but this is the kind of thing you need to see to get your team back in the match. And another edge of the mat takedown. He's dragged the toe now 3 times. He's got 5 takedowns in the bout. It's 11-4.
So a little blood on Hart. They're going to get that cleaned up with 30 seconds in the bout.
You got to wonder how concerned Smith will be with the dual meet score. He's now a takedown away from making this a major decision, which could end up being important in this duel.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's ready to take his foot off the gas pedal. I mean, if anything, he's been picking up his pace here in the last 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, he is not slowing down at all.
As mentioned, this is the 47th Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic, formerly known as the Dapper Dan. And when you look through this program that they have, it's just incredible the amount of high-level talent that wrestles here every single year. I mean, I'm just paging through. I won't read you the names. It gets a little old, but I mean, just these guys that compete in this are national champions every year. Like every year, it's 6 or 7 guys that wrestled in here are national champions.
Look at this, Jaxon Smith.
Takedown by Jaxon Smith.
Yeah, sifting through the old results, you see the quality of wrestlers that consistently show up at this event, and you're 100% right. We're going to watch an NCAA champ wrestle tonight, maybe more than one.
Oh, absolutely. It's been 6 or 7. One in the country, Jake Ayala from Iowa, Fort Dodge, Iowa, taking on Joey Fischer, ranked number 20 in the country from South Park.
And Ayala is a guy that's not super physically imposing, but he is a bulldog, man. This guy never stops wrestling. Neither does Joey Fischer.
Yeah, Joey Fischer, an accomplished wrestler in his own right, state champ this year. Placed 4th as a sophomore, 2nd as a junior, state champ this year, worked his way up the ladder. Also a Powerade champion. Powerade wasn't quite the same tournament it normally is, but nothing was normal this year.
Nothing
as
was.
We're sitting in a hotel for the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic. But hey, we're just happy to be here, and hats off to the committee for putting on another great event during these difficult times.
See Drake Ayala really controlling the mat through the first minute of the bout. He's so good in the hand fight, but he's not just good in the hand fight. He attacks too, and so it makes him so good. So many stories about him this year. He beat Richie Figueroa at Who's Number One, and Joey Fischer looking to drag for a takedown.
Yeah, he's in good position. We'll see if he comes around, but it's Ayala able to square up, but Fischer still stays with that position, stays with the Russian tie. Ayala backs towards the out of bounds, tries a quick limp, but yeah, that's not a takedown, but good attacks by Joey Fischer. He's ready to wrestle.
Yeah, Fischer tried to drag that toe, couldn't quite do it. Mentioned Ayala had the win over Richie Figueroa, Who's Number One. That was at the time, unexpected. That propelled him to the number 1 spot. He went on and won Super 32, and now he's looking for a drag takedown. Switches to another shot.
And both these guys putting the short offense on display. One of the best ways to get a takedown at the NCAA level is a go behind. You watch guys do it all the time in high-level matches. It's stuff in the head, that short drag situation. You can score a lot of points with just that quickness, and both guys are showing that that's in their arsenal.
Absolutely. You see, Roman Bravo Young gets sometimes 3 go-behinds in a 10-second period of time. It's ridiculous. But nice shot there from Fischer. Good first period. Joey Fischer, I think you got to be feeling pretty confident.
Oh, absolutely. Fischer was on the attacks, finds himself tied up. Again, gets the number 1 guy in the country. So Fischer in good shape.
And I apologize. I was misquoting the team score. I thought that Montana DeLawder's win would count for the team score. It apparently is not being factored in. So 7-6, Team USA leads PA.
Fischer tries to stay with it, but unable to notice. Okay, so we get the escape there. So we are neutral. And Fischer drives him out of bounds. Ayala, one of the Iowa guys, I think one of 3 Iowa guys. We got some future Iowa teammates going to square off later on. Ayala in on a shot. Fischer rolls through. He's going to try to build up.
These guys both look pretty comfortable here.
Fischer unable to build up as Ayala just leeches onto both legs. It's got them all tangled up, so we'll get a stalemate with 1:12 to go.
Ayala actually bumped up to 132 for a tough match with Ryder Block this year. Took a loss, stayed up for the state tournament, ended up avenging that loss. This is a guy that seeks out tough competition, not afraid to lay it on the line. And get the feeling Joey Fischer's similar. He loves to battle.
Yeah, he seemed pretty focused earlier today. Big match for him, excited to take on a top wrestler in the country. Also very excited to head to Clarion next year. Golden Eagles. Trying to fight off the attack, able to pass the leg. 35 seconds. Fischer's going to have a hard time building up from here as we get a stalemate with 31 seconds in the second period.
Yeah, Joey Fischer, a lot of the guys at the press conference were pretty lackadaisical, pretty laid back. Joey Fischer was 100% focused on winning this bout, and he knew this is a challenge, but he's up for it.
And Fischer, a WPIAL representative, one of 6 in our dual meet here this evening. As we mentioned, we saw the WPIAL All-Stars earlier today. See if Ayala's in on a shot. Fischer tries to limp, doing a good job of fighting it off so far. Tried to turn away. Good wave off. Fischer tells the ref, gives him the Dikembe Mutombo finger and says, no. The ref agreed with him. Said no takedown.
And I think that was a situation where the time ran out before Ayala had covered that second ankle, and even if he had,
I don't know, beyond reaction time,
yeah. So Ayala has been in on that shot. Sorry to step on you. Ayala has been in on that shot now 3 or 4 times deep. Fischer's so tough to score on.
Yeah, and I think one thing is just showing control is different than covering. Like he covered both legs, but he wasn't able to control him as Fischer does a headstand cartwheel to get out of the position. Hasn't got out yet, but much better position. Real high-level scrambling by both wrestlers, but super impressed by Fischer's headstand there.
That was a DeSanto-level dump. It looked like Fischer was dead to rights, but he somehow evaded the takedown.
And he has far ankle right now. Plenty of time, so hopefully we can keep scrambling. I don't know if either guy's going to move, so we'll get a stalemate. I wanted that position to go a little longer. That was fun.
Absolutely, and Ayala has not stopped attacking.
And Ayala, as you mentioned, referee noticed he hasn't stopped attacking yet either as Fischer picks up his first stall call.
Oh, cradle here for Ayala.
Yeah, Fischer made a big mistake, got his head too close to his knee. Ayala's going to make him pay, picking up the 2 points and collecting some near fall. Good fight by Fischer coming out of that position.
And I'll tell you what, man, Fischer made a big mistake for a 5-point move, but this kid will not stop fighting.
Yeah, he keeps himself in the match, getting the reversal. He's down 6-3. Escape is going to make it 7-3, so Fischer's got his work cut out for him. But impressive showing by Joey Fischer.
These are two absolute hammers, man. These kids will not stop. I love it.
Yeah, and Fischer just, again, probably going to be on the losing end of this bout, but these Whippeal wrestlers, they put on a show earlier, taking it to Team Maryland. And then, like I mentioned already, we'll see 6 more of those Whippeal All-Stars here tonight. If you're unfamiliar with that region, it's a Pittsburgh area, southern Pittsburgh area. Really a hotbed of Pennsylvania wrestling.
Man.
You see the power shift sometimes, and right now it's in the western part of the state. Ayala in on another attack. Fischer able to fight it off, and we'll end it there 7-3.
Great bout. Both guys fought the entire way. If you're a Clarion fan, you can't wait to get Joey Fischer in the room. If you're a Hawkeye fan, big things coming from Drake Ayala, one of 3 Hawkeyes that's going to compete.
All right, so we're going to move on to 138 pounds. And we have Carter Young from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Traveled east to take on Brock McMillen from Glendale. Brock McMillen, the local kid, lives about 30 minutes from here. Made the short drive to the South Point Hotel. He's looking to scrap tonight.
And Brock McMillen, a guy who just hasn't had the opportunities to hit a lot of ranked opponents, but he is 100% capable of being in the top 20 in the country. 3-time state champ from Pennsylvania. You don't see a lot of those, and there's an opportunity to get a big win here with Carter Young.
Yeah, Brock McMillen, as you mentioned, just small town. School doesn't compete in a lot of the national events, and he doesn't compete in a lot of national events, so I'm sure he's looking forward to this opportunity to really come up with a big win.
Carter Young, part of and there's a stalemate. Carter Young, part of a Stillwater, Oklahoma program that won a state title this year behind head coach Ethan Cael, who was in his first season in action, was an assistant coach at Wyoming for years and years, and Stillwater was absolutely loaded from top to bottom this year. Carter Young won a 3rd title for them.
Yeah, Young was excited to be on a team like that. His eyes kind of lit up in the press conference today when he was mentioning it, just the amount of high-level guys in that room and just getting each other better, and just excited to be in the room and getting better every day.
For sure. It doesn't hurt when your lineup starts out with Coach John Smith's son, who won a state title, and then just gets better from there.
Don't tell Coach John Smith you said that.
Oh, he knows.
Oh.
He knows. 25 seconds left in the period, and we're scrambling.
McMillen has that ankle, 17 seconds. Again, we're college out of bounds, so anything inbounds, we're going to keep wrestling.
Short time, a takedown here would be huge.
And McMillen does a nice job of getting his head inside. He was in danger of coming out of that position and being in some bad shape, but adjusted his head position and able to hang on to that position and ride out the period without giving up a takedown.
Yeah, good adjustment there from McMillen, and he's going to go bottom to start the second.
Coach Keith Gavin from Pittsburgh didn't have to travel far to find this PA stud. McMillen talked about how much that visit from Coach really meant, and just wanted to be a Pitt Panther, excited to go there, help out Coach Gavin, co-coach of the year, I believe, this year in the ACC.
He was.
Had himself a great season, 2 national finalists at University of Pittsburgh, and Brock McMillen hoping to join the team next year and become a finalist for them. McMillen up 1-0.
Good shot there from Carter Young. Covers the leg. He needs to pop this head out. Good adjustment, though, from McMillen. He just continues to make the right adjustments and keep himself in these scrambles and extend them where a lot of guys give up the 2.
Yeah, and that's the type of wrestler Brock McMillen is. Not like super flashy, and this isn't meant to be a knock or anything, just not like super flashy with stuff, just super solid from a lot of different positions, and he makes those slight little adjustments that make a big difference. We saw that adjustment at the end of the first period, just head position. You know, that changes that sequence totally, and he does it again here. So tough guy to take down. just a real stingy wrestler.
He's a guy who is not going to be on a lot of people's radars on the national level, but Pitt fans are going to be glad this guy's on the team.
Fireman's carry. McMillen again able to come through. Man, I thought Young had him dead to rights with that fireman's. Really nice attempted takedown, but McMillen ready for it, able to wrestle out of the position, and we'll probably get a stalemate here. Never mind.
Nice adjustment there from Carter Young, and he gets the takedown. 30 to go. Yeah, just when it looked like it was headed to stalemate city, Carter Young made an adjustment, gets the 2. That's big for him. If he can ride this out for the remaining 15 seconds of the period, that'll be huge for him as well.
If you're McMillen, I just heard his coach say, you got to get a restart here. You want to get that restart with enough time. And actually, that was a good position by Young. He put himself out of bounds and was driving on his toes to not allow McMillen to try to scoot out in any way. It'll be Young's choice.
Defense to start the third period.
Goes underneath, and we'll see what McMillen does on top. He's
These
going to work the turn, or if he's going to let him loose.
These All-Star events are cool. You saw Carter Young over there talking to Coach Rod Jones. That's a coach at a rival high school, Broken Arrow, in Oklahoma. And but he knows Coach Rod knows him well enough to give him the right advice. So he goes underneath.
North to Northwestern University.
We mentioned an Oklahoma boy. A lot of times you just assume, oh, they're going to Oklahoma State just like everyone else. But decided not to go to Oklahoma State. He's traveling up to Northwestern, wrestling the Big Ten.
Yeah, breaking the pattern a little bit there, but sounds like a good fit for Carter. And
we mentioned in the earlier round when we were talking about some smaller Division I schools, not those big name programs. I mean, Northwestern is a big name program, but just that idea of, people want to go, oh, I want to go to Oklahoma State. Well, there's only 10 starting spots. So there's other places you can win to. Oklahoma State, obviously an awesome school. If you can get into the starting lineup, it's obviously a great thing, but there's a lot of other opportunities out there at a lot of good schools where you can win national titles at smaller schools. And Young in on the attack.
About a minute to go. McMillen going to try to score defensively, and we haven't seen McMillen attack his own very much here so far in this bout, and some of his closest scoring opportunities have been off Young's attacks. We'll see if he's able to capitalize defensively.
It's going to be tough here with Young clinging low to the ankles. Tries to build up. And now Young in very good position to finish, just has to hip heist. Now McMillen able to lock in the crotch. Does a nice job of getting out of that position. Gets a little bit improved, and we'll get a stalemate. 16 seconds to go in the match.
Carter Young's been very aware of the clock this entire third period, not rushing anything, taking his time in these positions, and now we'll see if McMillen can come forward and attack on his own.
Yeah, obviously he's going to have to generate some offense by himself. This is where Young wants to be. Scramble situation on the edge of the mat. And there it is, Carter Young from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Picks up the 3-1 win over Brock McMillen. It adds 3 more points for Team USA.
Another outstanding match, and on our scoreboards here in...
So 132 pounds, Chance Lamer from Corvallis, Oregon, made the trip out east to wrestle Dillon Chappell from Seneca Valley here at 132 pounds.
Nice attack.
Yeah, tried to throw by, turned it into a leg attack. See if Lamer can come out of this position. Chappell, excellent scrambler, as you're seeing right now, able to find his way out of the position, at least temporarily. Chappell, a great scrambler, but that scrambling got himself into a little bit of trouble in the Pennsylvania State Finals. Was in a real tight match that made a mistake, got put on his back for a gave up a takedown and near fall. Dropped his state title match a couple weeks ago in Hershey.
Nice little drag attempt there from Lamer, and Oregon, a state that's been pretty much shut down this year, as you see Lamer drop in on a single, and we're into a whizzer seatbelt position.
Yeah, Chappell's got a good whizzer. See if he can keep that pressure down. Lamer able to build up. See if he can limp out. He's going to lock his hands and try to crank down on that shoulder. Able to crank on the shoulder transition to get the takedown and pick up the first takedown of the match with 30 seconds in the period.
Good takedown there from Lamer, and mentioned Oregon not having much of a season for Lamer, but that hasn't stopped him from seeking out good competition. He recently, oh man, nice job there from Lamer.
Yeah, good lift. Didn't get any backs. I thought for sure we were going to see some back points from that position. Good job by Chappell to not give anything up there.
But yeah, Lamer's had some good results throughout this year. Probably most impressively, he went out to UWW Juniors, where you see a lot of college guys, and got on the podium there, was 7th, and looked really outstanding in that performance.
Also a Super 32 finalist. So yeah, he's been putting in the work, traveling across the country. Headed to Michigan next year. So a well-traveled individual, goes where he has to get the matches he needs.
Absolutely. His brothers are at Cal Poly, but he'll be a Wolverine.
Another WPIAL wrestler in Dillon, Chappell. Has a teammate wrestling also this evening at 152 pounds. So we'll see another wrestler from Seneca Valley, Alejandro Herrera-Rondon.
Chappell headed to Bucknell next year. That's a program that's coming off a really impressive performance, as they had Zach Hartman, an All-American, at 165 pounds this year. Chappell looking to help build that program.
Chappell with a shot, but it's Lamer able to come around behind and pick up the takedown. Has a claw. We'll see if he can do anything with it.
Man, his transition, so impressive there.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the time to get back points against elite wrestlers. Most times you're not going to turn somebody when they're at 100% defense. So if you can pick up those transition points going straight from a takedown right to a turn, or from a mat return to a turn, those are the times to pick up the back points. A lot of guys, that's when they're going to take the deep breath and kind of collect themselves. But if you can keep wrestling in those positions, that's where you score points against the best wrestlers.
Lamer continuing to look for near fall. Wrist across the back, and now switching to a claw. In that first duel, Team Whippeal against Team Maryland, it just felt like the momentum in the room was almost unstoppable. And this is the first time I think I've sensed tonight that Pennsylvania crowd's a little quiet. The life in the room's a little died down right now.
Yeah, things were getting loud in that dual meet earlier as the Whippeal team was putting it on Maryland. Obviously, a lot of Pennsylvania people here.
6-1 advantage here for Lamer. As we start the third period, he'll choose neutral.
And again, just a lot of credit to the staff here at the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic. I mean, not a normal event. Usually it's at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse, University of Pittsburgh. Obviously couldn't do it there. So different location, venue, all these different dynamics they need to work out, all these things they need to figure out to give these kids just an awesome platform. And they've done just an excellent job again this year.
Lamer, another deep attack, and whizzer seatbelt.
Chappell trying to come out. Lamer using his legs like arms, putting Chappell where he wants with his feet. Able to pick up the takedown and go up 8-1.
Lamer just now, we saw Ayala do it earlier. These guys are, you can tell in the room, they're being taught to train to stop guys in that scramble, so that when they do get to college, that neutral danger zone rule will be in effect. That is not a rule right now at high school, but these guys are already thinking about the next level.
Yeah, and I think the earlier you can do that, the better, because you can develop some bad habits with leg passes where, especially now with the neutral danger zone takedown at the college level, you can't lay on your back, whereas in years past at college level, you could grab a leg and lay on your back all you want. and nothing really happened, but that's not an acceptable defense anymore. So these guys have to find ways to work through these positions, and
Woo!
that was a nice setback.
Classic wrestlers.
Lamer, another guy we saw with Jaxon Smith earlier in this duel, a guy that's just not going to stop trying to score. He had the major decision margin in play, but decided he wants to work for more takedowns, and one way than the other, he's close to it.
And there's a takedown to give him the major. Goes up 12-3, under 20 seconds in the match, and just really super impressed with Chance Lamer.
Me too. You talked earlier about the role of a go-behind and being able to get a quick two that way. You've seen Lamer really tack onto his lead just there with that ability, and he gets a major decision, 4 more on the board for Team USA.
Yeah, nice job by Chance Lamer, 132 pounds, picks up the win, major decision, 4 more points for Team USA. Number 5 in the country, Enrique Munguia from Elyria, Ohio. He is taking on, and he's in on a shot early, and there's the double. Munguia up early with the takedown, just right off the whistle, blows through double. In the blue singlet, we have AJ Corrado from Burrell, another WPIAL wrestler, ranked number 17 in the country. Munguia ranked number 5. You see his impressive explosive attack and his offense on display early in this bout.
Both Munguia and Corrado both recently coming out of incredibly loaded state championship brackets. Corrado had a win over a nationally ranked opponent, Avery Bassett, in the finals. Munguia ranked 5th in the country, 2nd in the state of Ohio, because who stands in his way but number 1, Patty Gallagher.
And Munguia did drop the match to Gallagher in the state finals. It's nice to see Ohio able to wrestle their state championships, as they missed out on that last season. Fortunately for Pennsylvania wrestlers, we were able to get the state tournament just before they closed everything down. Yeah. I remember working that event last year with you and some of the other guys, and within the week, everyone's world changed pretty quickly. But yeah, just nice for those Ohio guys to be able to get that state championship in this season.
Absolutely, and Munguia, another takedown. He's up 4-1. And by the way, Munguia did lose to Patty Gallagher in the finals in Ohio, but in the semis, he beat number 7 in the nation, Derek Fields. So, you know, this guy's no slouch.
I think AJ Corrado would agree, as he has his hands full here in the first period, finding himself down by 3. Corrado, an established wrestler in his own right, 4-time state medalist from the state of Pennsylvania, wrestles for Pennsylvania Power, AA, Burrell. His team was in the state championships, team state championships. I guess it was last weekend at Cumberland Valley High School is where they hosted it this year. His team finished 3rd in the state in the dual championships. He was able to help out his team with some wins. So just was wrestling competitive last week. He's been training with his team, so he should be in pretty good shape to put on his best performance here this evening.
That Burrell team is super fun to watch. Not just because they're good, but man, look at Munguia, so tough on top. Not just because
watch his back for potentially dangerous in that position, as we'll get a stoppage with 2 seconds left.
That Burrell squad, not just good, but their energy on the edge of the mat is super fun. And I mean, if you haven't had a chance to watch AJ Corrado's state finals match, do yourself a favor, go check that out, especially the end. I mean, spoiler alert, this guy gets a crazy pancake for the fall, and people go nuts. It's great.
Yeah, picked up that fall over Bassett, who at the time was ranked number 18 in the country. We were ready for a real, actually it was a close bout to the pancake, but yeah. I think that was even in overtime.
I think it was.
A great match, but.
Corrado going to work on top, Munguia on bottom, trying to grab that ankle and work for a reversal. Man, he's got to be careful.
Corrado's been busy even after the state championships. He wrestled actually on Sunday night. Special all-star match with AAA All-Stars versus AA All-Stars. So he's been a busy guy putting in the work. Likes being on the mat. Gives up the reversal there, though, as he goes down 6-1.
Corrado now ankle right here.
Yeah, Corrado, one of those brown guys, as we mentioned, heading to Brown.
Assassin. He's trying to assassinate him.
And he might. Corrado in trouble. A lot of time. See if he can settle and sink in. Corrado trying to keep his shoulder up. Not out of the woods yet. Still needs to be careful. As I mentioned about Brown University, they have it looks like we will have an injury default. So, unfortunately, AJ Corrado cannot continue. Our next bout will be at 170 pounds. We're going to have Dillon Walker from LaSalle College in Cincinnati, Ohio, taking on Luca Augustine from Waynesburg Central.
Nice pick there from Walker. And Luca Augustine was one of the most impressive performances for me at PIAAs. He lost to Trey Kaib in a super regional final and had to really turn it around to get the win in the finals.
Yeah, Walker in on the attack. He's got his foot planted on that far hip, very deep on that bottom leg. See how he tries to come out. If he goes out back door or tries to duck his head to the opposite hip, he's going to go back door. Locking the crotch by Augustine, able to roll through. Nice little scramble action to kick things off here at 170 pounds. Augustine ranked 8 in the country, Walker 18. Walker had a tough state tournament, but both these guys have big wins over some big names this season.
Absolutely. Dillon Walker, no stranger to PA competition. He actually beat the AA state champ, Rune Lawrence, at Powerade, and so certainly capable of high-level performances. Yeah, I don't know if I said they're wrong, Lawrence brother, but
now I'm jammed up.
Now I don't know. We're all jammed up. We don't know what I said. We gotta fact check ourselves. But we don't know what we said.
That's true.
All right, back to action here.
Thane's the freshman. Rune's at Lehigh. 95% sure. I'll phone a friend.
Okay.
But either way, yeah, Walker just a big win over him over Lawrence. We'll just call him Lawrence. So over Lawrence in the Powerade finals. Oh, I'm messing you up. I typed in the wrong name. I apologize.
That's all right.
I'm messing up. That's not David Bray's fault. That's Tim Rice's fault.
That's all right. No worries.
Totally screwed it up. Apologies to the Lawrence family and your relatives.
Short time left, and yeah, we're out of time here. No score after one.
No score at the end of the first period. Luca.
So entertaining first period, but obviously scoreless. Augustine, another guy, was talking about the team states for Pennsylvania. Usually that happens before the individual state tournament. In fact, before that whole postseason starts. So typically it's, the end of February. This year was the end of March. Augustine wrestles on Waynesburg, which is one of the top teams in the country. Definitely the top team in the state of Pennsylvania. They were dominant at the team championships.
Yeah, I mean, what an impressive team. And Augustine, another pit recruit. We've talked about a couple today, and he's a guy that he seems to get better and better.
Yeah, he had a knee injury. I think it was a knee injury that kept him out of the Powerade tournament, where he might have met Walker. And man, I would have loved to see him wrestle Lawrence in that tournament. But different classification. So Lawrence was in the AA, Augustine AAA. Your two state champs in the state of Pennsylvania. Augustine had a nice win over Trey Kaib, big recruit for Virginia Tech. So he had a nice state tournament, as you mentioned. Really has been coming on strong in the past month.
And what was so impressive to me about that PIAA win is that their super regional final was not that close. Kaib was able to score a couple times from the feet, and Augustine just made the tactical adjustments, had a totally different game plan, and put the pressure on Kaib and forced a mistake late.
Yeah, Augustine, I was just going to say, has a nice head inside single, but Walker able to limp leg out 40 seconds in the period. I don't think much is going to happen at the edge, but we'll see what happens. These guys are so quick. There, we'll get the out-of-bounds call with 26 seconds in the period. Walker said he's heading to Mercyhurst next season to continue his wrestling career. Augustine, another commitment to the University of Pittsburgh.
Short time left in the period. Augustine controlling center.
Nice little snap. Tries to get in, and Walker's going to pick up a stall call. Big stall call with 6 seconds in the period.
It's a good win, yeah. It's a good little victory in the match. 6 seconds to go.
Walker makes the choice to go underneath. He's going to work for that escape. Try to tie things up at 1. See how intent Augustine is to keep him down and top. Walker very quick off the whistle. Nice little roll through. Augustine stays pasted to his back. Just good follow by Augustine.
Nice job, Walker. Second effort, up and out. It's 1-1.
Dillon was a Powerade champion here this year.
Good little re-attack there. Changes levels. Augustine locked in the single. Walker trying to prevent him from scoring, but Augustine in good position.
Augustine hanging onto that leg. See if he tries to step over. He thought about it. Coach Throckmorton telling him, get him back to the middle, but watch your ankles. And Walker able to pick the ankle. I think that's 2 points, and there is not yet. He's got the foot hooked, and there's 2 points
and
for
man,
Walker.
You hear Team USA over there starting to get pretty fired up for their guys. It's starting to feel a little more like a team, you know?
Yeah, and Augustine, I mean, unfortunately for him, he got a little too relaxed as he was trying to pull Walker back to the center. Looks like Walker might take an injury. Nope, he's going to pull it together and get on the line. Augustine's going to bring it, though, and as we mentioned, he's been in action very recently. Should be in really good shape and be able to push the pace here in the last 30 seconds.
They go out of bounds.
And remember, Walker does have that stall call. Augustine able to come around, has one leg. He's going to try to transition up with it. Plenty of time to finish.
Finishing here was the problem earlier, but now they're up to their feet. Walker kicks out.
I think Augustine's best bet might be a go behind. Not the position to get it from, but crowd is yelling for a stall call, but we probably not going to get it from that flurry.
14 to go.
I think a good shot fake with a head snap go behind might be it for Augustine. Gets caught underneath. There's the stall call. Wow. Stall call on Walker. That's going to tie it up.
Walker drops that ankle again, and they called it out of bounds. I think a little premature, still thinking about high school rules. That stall call at the end of the second. Oh, nice little duck attempt.
Yeah,
Stall
Augustine,
call at the end of the second ended up being critical.
Yeah, Augustine definitely fortunate to pick up that second stall call to tie things up, and you can see Walker is heading into deep waters with Augustine. We'll see if he's ready for the overtime period. Augustine inside trip. He went for it. Oh, I think the go behind was there. Augustine unable to do it. Walker again retreating. Can't be too obvious in the backup. He gets hit again. This match is over.
Absolutely, they're out of bounds. And Walker wanted to call injury time earlier, didn't. We may see him call it right now. We'll see.
Yeah, he looks like he's hurting a little bit. He's going to take injury time. So these Whitfield wrestlers have been putting on a show along with their PA teammates. Again, 6 of the 12 wrestlers tonight. Half the team PA is from Whitfield. And this is the first of 2 Waynesburg wrestlers. We'll see his teammate wrestle a little later.
Wyatt Henson going to close out the match tonight. He's going to be wrestling a future teammate, Cael of Ankeny, Iowa, who's also going to be a Hawkeye. Man, you got to hope Dillon Walker is okay. And it looks like they may call it. I'm not sure. I saw the doctor say something to the official, which makes me a little nervous.
All right, excellent. We'll be able to finish this bout.
Glad we're continuing.
As you mentioned, we still have 2 more great bouts, actually 3 more great bouts tonight. But Augustine trying to finish this one for Team PA. He's in on the single again, able to pick up the takedown. Luca Augustine from Waynesburg. Big takedown in overtime, gets the win for Team PA.
Gutted that out. Whether or not the stall call at the end of regulation.
Number 1 in the country, coming from Broadview Heights, Ohio, Victor Voinovich. And he is taking on number 3 in the country, Alejandro Herrera-Rondon from Seneca Valley.
Voinovich and Herrera-Rondon, 2 of the most elite scramblers and mat wrestlers in the country. And you see Voinovich in on a single. Getting to the shot is half the battle, maybe less than half the battle against Alejandro Herrera-Rondon.
Yeah, Rondon a great scrambler, but Voinovich in great shape to finish. Almost able, I don't think that's 2 yet. There's 2 anyway, so we get the 2-point takedown early, and that's big in this match.
Suck back attempt there, and part of the intrigue with this bout is this is a future Bedlam duel, as Voinovich will be heading to Stillwater. He'll be a Cowboy for Oklahoma State. Alejandro Herrera-Rondon going to be a Sooner for Oklahoma, and he gets a reversal. It ties this match at 2.
Yeah, and we see some of that mat wrestling on display. These guys can't relax in any position. That's why I think whoever wins the match on the feet wins the match. And, you know, Voinovich out early with that takedown, but Herrera-Rondon able to tie things up. We'll see what he can do in the top position. Sucks him back into a crab ride. He's got the long claw. Herrera-Rondon, very long, lanky guy. I would imagine he's going to keep going up in weight classes. I think he started his high school career at 126. He's up to 152. We'll see if he keeps growing when he heads to Oklahoma.
Yeah, he seems to be one of the tallest, rangiest guys, no matter what weight class he's in. And
now he's got a leg in. Voinovich in trouble. Didn't know it till it was too late. Gives up a 2 count.
4-2 now. Herrera-Rondon leads, and man, really effective top work.
And I was going to say it's a win for Herrera-Rondon if he can ride out the period. But he's doing more than riding out the period. He's picking up points. So he's been able to negate that first takedown he gave up and find himself up 4-2 at the end of the first period. So good turnaround for Ali.
Outstanding work there. Herrera-Rondon, and coin flip goes to Voinovich.
Herrera-Rondon, a 3-time Pennsylvania state champion. Just an absolute stud, and he's a guy that's been getting better. You know, every year he's been getting better, but this year is a senior year. Seems like he's really made a jump. He's opened it up a little bit more on his feet. You see more leg attacks from him. And kind of surprisingly to me, Voinovich is just going to cut him loose. Voinovich, known for being a hammer on top, likes to run bar arms. But he let him go, and it's Herrera-Rondon who's taking advantage of the cutaway and gets in on an attack. Voinovich dives through, nice
lightning
quickness.
fast.
So fast.
When you talk about speed of a wrestler, you think about, you know, a blast double or maybe a low single, an ankle pick. You don't think about speed in a scramble, but man, that was incredible.
Yeah, lightning quick. Voinovich, a 2-time state champion from Ohio, representing Brecksville High School.
Good position here, Voinovich, but Herrera-Rondon locked through the crotch. Feeling like a stalemate.
And oh my gosh, his hamstring.
Voinovich
Very
making good
flexible.
adjustments, huh? Yeah.
Because Voinovich has his foot hooked. Herrera-Rondon showing off his flexibility and just his strength, able to stay locked in the crotch. Voinovich had the leg turked and just putting a ton of pressure on him, but Herrera-Rondon able to fight out of the position and really earn a stalemate there.
Underhook for Voinovich, but Herrera-Rondon with head position.
Undefeated this season, 34 victories, 175 career high school wins. Alejandro will be headed to the University of Oklahoma next season.
Couple reattacks from both guys. Short time in the second period. Voinovich fires off another attack. He's got the tricep, wasn't able to hang on to the leg as he finds himself stuck underneath. His time runs out in the second period.
Two solid periods so far for Herrera-Rondon. Voinovich wrestles well late, so Herrera-Rondon definitely cannot let off the gas here. Voinovich decided to go neutral in the third, and Herrera-Rondon locked on a single. Voinovich, though, has got him stretched out.
I don't know, I'm a little bit surprised Voinovich didn't go under. I mean, I understand he got turned earlier and how tough Herrera-Rondon is on top, but man, he's got to take him down twice now to win this match.
He's got the one takedown. He's going to need a couple more.
And takedowns don't usually come quick against Herrera-Rondon, so, you know, a minute 20 left, not a lot of time when you're trying to get two takedowns on an elite scrambler.
100%.
And Herrera-Rondon would be smart just to keep moving so he doesn't get stalemate in this position, because he's in good shape. He just needs to take his time, let the clock tick down. He might come around with two. He can sit on his butt, get that ankle free, kind of drive that pressure to the head. That's what he's doing, leg free. We'll see if he can turn. He wants to come back to a sit. There we'll get our stalemate, but there's probably 30 seconds burned off the clock.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you were talking about, right? Positions take a really long time to develop against Herrera-Rondon, and Voinovich now needs a quick one. And he's close, but Herrera-Rondon locks around that leg again, and no surprise. Oh, there's the two. That was quicker than I thought. Was that a takedown?
Yeah, it's questionable there. The referee's going to give two. Felt like he was in control. A lot of times you won't see the takedown until he gets his leg free, but either way was able to pick up the takedown. Team USA is yelling for a stall call as Voinovich, down by one, is going to try to release. Rondon hit with the stall call.
Not much time.
6-4 lead. He can give up another stall, and he knows it. Very savvy wrestler. Impressive win. Alejandro Herrera-Rondon with the win over the #1 wrestler in the country. Picks up the win, representing Team PA in his home school of Seneca Valley. Iowa Hawkeyes are going to do battle here at 145 pounds. We have Caleb Roche from Ankeny, Iowa. He's ranked number 16 in the country, taking on Wyatt Henson from Waynesburg Central, number 3 in the country.
Two future teammates, and Roche usually wrestles up at 152, but coming down for this bout against future teammate Henson, Wyatt kind of made mention of that his dad, Sammy Henson, made sure Roche was making the weight. So,
and we are getting that name pronunciation correct. It is Roche. We've confirmed several times.
Yeah, we asked him. It's not spelled the way you would think you'd pronounce it, but
and hey, we want to get the country ready for this name, because when he comes into Iowa next year, wrestle for the Iowa Hawkeyes, he's going to be a well-known name. So it's Roche.
I think he has a lot of upside. Roche is a guy who's played football and wrestled throughout his high school career, and so when he shifts over to full focus on wrestling, I think you're going to see some jumps from this guy who's already top 20 in the country.
See if Wyatt Henson can get his attacks going. Very good from his feet. Typically gets 3-4 takedowns a match. Likes to go post double, run his feet. Tries to attack, but it's Rathjen in with the re-attack. Henson fights it off nicely. Henson sometimes a slow starter. Actually, this year at the Pennsylvania State Tournament, very slow starter. Quarterfinal round, almost dropped a close one. Had to fight hard to come back in that early round for the Pennsylvania State Tournament.
Yeah, he showed a lot of maturity and heart in that one, you know, giving up a big lead and then clawing back in it. And really impressed with that win. I'm sure, you know, plan A is don't give up those points to begin with, but you're right, he gets better as the match goes on.
Rathjen in on the head inside. Henson able to fight out. Henson, a 3-time state champion. 2 of those were in the state of Pennsylvania. 1 was in Missouri. Finished 5th in the state as a freshman. Took off to Missouri, decided to win a state title down there. Come back to Pennsylvania for his junior and senior year and win titles for Waynesburg.
Of course, his dad, Sammy Henson, Olympic silver medalist, was also a participant in this event.
Yeah, Sammy Henson wrestled here in 1989 against North Schuylkill's Randy Redler. Won 8-7. Wrestled 112 as a senior, Sammy Henson. So Wyatt a little bit bigger than his dad, but a lot of similarities. Both of them were 3-time state champs. Both of them were 5th as freshmen. So Wyatt Henson in on the shot, able to transition and get the takedown. Wyatt Henson goes up 2-1. Also another little interesting fact, the Hensons are the 5th father-son combo to wrestle in this event since it started. Again, this is the 47th annual Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic. Used to be known as the Dapper Dan. As we mentioned, we're just statistically or based on past year's results and these 12 bouts that we're watching, we are probably watching about 5 or 6 future national champions here. Probably looking at maybe one coming from this pair for the Iowa Hawkeyes. I'm sure Coach Brands wouldn't mind that.
No, he would be plenty happy with that. And, you know, we asked both these guys about how they felt about Iowa's performance and you know, watching their future program win a national title. And they said, well, hey, we went 1-3 in the finals. We wanted better results than that, and we want to be part of that.
Yeah, just taking a glance at this team score right now, Team PA up by 1. I don't think many people thought they'd be in this position. Obviously, they picked up 6 points from a forfeit, but I mean, that was a toss-up match between those two guys, especially with Hamilton coming off a loss. I mean, I don't think Team PA would have got 6 there, but you know, Team Pennsylvania finds themselves up by 1, and they were heavy underdogs coming into this dual meet.
And think about, you know, some of the last few matches that we've seen. I mean, Dylan Walker was ahead by a point on Luca Augustine with just a few seconds to go. That stall call sends it to overtime. Alejandro Herrera-Rondon, Victor Voinovich is absolutely a toss-up match, and PA got a couple critical wins there.
And Henson comes right up to his feet. Good work by him. Nice snap down by Rathjen. You got to think it's way too early for Henson to shut down his attacks. His dad, Sammy, in the corner, encouraging him to get another shot off.
Nice little shot attempt there from Rathjen, but right into the front headlock. Ooh, drag attempt. Rathjen close to it.
Yeah, Henson's got to keep wrestling here. Ooh, he called him out of bounds. I don't think they were. Either way, we're back to the center with 1:16. Henson goes with the old Jordan Burroughs socks pull up. See if he goes with the blast double.
You see Coach Seabolt over there for Team USA. He wants Rathjen to get this win.
I mean, this is a huge match for these two guys. I mean, this is bragging rights in the wrestling room, you know, for the next 4 years.
Yeah, they will Their teammates will not let this go, no matter the outcome. Oh, nice.
And whoever wins this, I'd be wearing my singlet and my medal to the first practice. So there's Rathjen on the shot. Henson in trouble. And
wow.
Just great. Oh, my goodness. What a scramble. Henson, man, with, I'm not going to say cat-like quickness, but I don't know how he was able to land out of that position. Wow. Just a great little flurry there.
Rathjen in Iowa fashion, right back to the center, and he is attacking off the whistle.
And when Rathjen picks up the pace, Henson's been ready. Rathjen coming around. Henson able to scramble. Wow. Great athleticism from both guys.
Rathjen's been close to dragging to that takedown a couple of times, been able to avoid it.
22 seconds to go. Henson can start to shut it down, I guess, a little bit, but you got to be ready. He hasn't been hit with stalling yet. You got to think one's maybe coming soon. He's backing up. At this point, stallings look inconsequential as he's starting to run. Picks up the stall call with 5 seconds to go.
Oh,
Rathjen with the go behind. Henson scrambles out. And that's the match, and that's the dual meet. Too late for Rathjen as Wyatt Henson picks up the win. Both wrestlers laying on the mat, utterly exhausted, but what a treat for the fans.
Team Pennsylvania is fired up. You would think these guys have wrestled an entire season together. For this squad, they are so pumped up.
And a standing ovation from the limited crowd here today. What a treat, what a show these guys put on. Big win for Wyatt Henson, picks up the win, and big win for Team Pennsylvania.